Hey, welcome back, people, and a huge welcome to my Thrival tribe. If you haven't met me before, my name is Lexi Tommy, and this is my Thrival guide. Every Thursday, I sit down and talk to you how to get your life together. It's a fun little channel on adulting, and it's going to help everything in your day-to-day go much smoother. So stay tuned today and subscribe below so I can keep coming back at you every Thursday. Welcome to November. Does anyone else feel like we are running at a faster and faster pace? Here in our lives, we have dealt with a lot of familial illnesses in the past couple months. I myself have had some surgery and some real fallout from that. And during that time, I just got down on my knees and I was so thankful that our family has embraced minimalism, scheduled things out so that anyone could pitch in and help out if we're needed, that I bulk mealed and had a freezer full of meals so that meals were super simple to put together, that we have a really strong cleaning ritual for our household. Because I could not imagine what it would have been like if we did not have these things in place. Because let's be real, when mama goes down, we could all go down. If you are thinking of any of these ideas as something you may want to consider in your own life too, I have tons of videos on the topic. Go ahead, go into the archives, go into the playlist, press play, binge watch, pick and choose what's going to work for you in your home. I promise you, each one of them comes with a time savings that is going to make a difference in your day-to-day. For all of you that sat back and continue to rewatch videos you have already seen or I have already posted, waiting for the new material to come, I want to give you a huge thank you. I am so grateful for all of you. This month, I want to tackle a new thing that may be contributing to exhaustion and fatigue, frustration, stress, and emotions in your life. And that is your mindset. When I came back to the world of living and well, I was surrounded by people checking in with me. I must have said I was doing great and feeling better and better each and every day, like 100 times. But the return messaging, it was an oh so familiar one. I would ask, and you? Like, how are you doing? And I received the exact same message every single time. Ugh, so busy. I would watch as the color and light came out of their face and it would fill with stress and anxiety as they rattled off the lists of to-dos they had to do that day, that week, what had taken up all of their time. And my thoughts began to flood to, is this happening to us? Or are we doing this to ourselves? Stress, obligation, chores, activities, to-dos, all pressure at work. Let's be real, it's in front of all of us. Why do we let it define us? And instead of putting at the forefront the things that are important, we leave behind the things that we hold dearest. Growing healthy kids, taking on new challenges we are kicking butt at and taking names. Even the illnesses, we survived them. We came out the other side, we made it, we worked together as a team. There are things that we did very well through all of that, considering that was an unforeseen challenge in our day. I just spoke with my coworker yesterday about how lucky we are that fall has been so warm here. It's been awesome, feeling that fresh air, watching the changing colors of the leaves, feeling the fullness of fall without it immediately covered by snow. And it was like a shock to their system. They're like, yeah, I can see that. Like it would normally be super cold by now. We've actually had a fairly decent fall, but they hadn't realized that in their normal day-to-day lives. And let's be real, I get sucked in too. It is really hard to notice the little things in life when we are exhausted, overworked, and tired. I want you to try something. I want you to take a week, just one simple week in your life. Maybe that's next week, maybe that's the week after, but I want you to commit to something. I want you to pay attention to your interactions and the messaging of those around you. Try for 1 week to never say, "Oh, I'm so busy." Try something else. Say anything else than that. See what happens. See how it changes your feelings. See how it may change your interactions with someone else. Feeling defined by your own stressors, obligations, pressures, it can have such a weight on your soul. It can have such a weight on your being, such a pressure on your heart and spirit. I guess I just started realizing that I am answering other people like I am speaking from my to-do list rather than answering them from Lexi. I am not the laundry waiting for me at home. I am not the groceries that need to be picked up. I am not the runner of kids' activities. It happens. There are things on my list, but they're not me. I can take the conscious effort to refocus and nourish me. I always enjoyed the little things. A great cup of coffee, a moment of quiet, anything and everything to do with outside and nature. The way my 2 kids smile exactly the same way when they think no one is watching. I can be Lexi that took the second to enjoy the colors of changing fall on my walk into work this morning. I can be Lexi that is still lucky enough to get run hugs from my kids. I can be Lexi that pinned her husband down in the hallway for a nice long hug at the end of the day. And I can celebrate, realizing that I am in control of that. We are in control of what we do and do not absorb. We are in control of what we lead with and what we focus on. There are little tricks you can do. For me, if I am getting into my car and I am drained after an exhausting day at work, I crank my favorite songs. I feel all the feels. I sing out all the stress and leave it exactly where it is. I want you to think about the alternative. Like, let's say that you didn't have an outlet, that's 5-second outlet that you can do, a healthy release. If you didn't have that, what would be the alternative? For me, I'd be rattling off in my head the different stresses, the different pressures that I had been through that day, maybe things that I didn't say exactly right, that I would have said differently. And it's all for naught anyway, because you're completely powerless to change any of it. It's done, it's history. Repeating that negative, toxic messaging, not just to yourself, but also then verbally when somebody asks you, "How were you?" You're repeating that toxicity to them. That affects your spirit, your mind. It can affect the chemicals that are going through and being triggered in your body, and it can affect the person you're talking to too. It really is such an awful way to interact with each other. Imagine looking at this concept of interaction, but with your best friend. What does the interaction serve to do? Point out who is busier, as if we're trying to point out who has a tougher life, add stress to their day, and now you've topped it off with a little bit of worry that they'll have about you. Leave your connection point at an all-time low and deterring you from having any more time together than absolutely necessary. Consider it. It might just be a reality that your toxic mind frame is holding you back. It may be something that's stunting your interactions with others. It may be affecting your cortisol levels that then affects your happiness and your ability to achieve happiness. It may be affecting the availability of energy that you have for yourself or others. And it may affect your ability to keep going. With the staggering number of people that are now dealing with depression and anxiety, this is all essentially the premise of talk therapy. And talk therapy is training you to speak differently to yourself. So what do? Start simple, start small. Make a list of your errands and to-dos so that you can refer to it, you can stop thinking about it, brain dump that stuff onto a piece of paper, and don't repeat it in your day-to-day over and over again. Change the way you respond if somebody asks you how you are doing. So how can we go about changing our mindset and attitude? Changing your mindset can be super tough. Many people are held back by negative thought processes. Your mind just simply has to be retrained from thinking the same old thoughts that have brought you to this point. But you can retrain it. You can make new paths. You can make a new way. It is so easy to get stuck in a negative mindset. I had to be conscious about truly wanting positivity in my life and choosing that positive interaction because it brought me joy and it brought joy to the people around me. It wasn't a lie. It was a reframing of a situation. Any situation that you take in your life, you have the opportunity to take it as a negative, as a positive, or as a neutral. I didn't even think about it. I am choosing to take it as a positive. I'm choosing to frame the situations in my life in a light way rather than a heavy way. And I have times where I feel low, where I feel down, where I feel defeated. That is a normal part of living, but it makes the joys so much happier. And I'm going to tell you, in times where I'm feeling low, those are the times when I have to work even harder to reframe things. And that's okay. If your messages to yourself are sad, defeated, angry, infuriating, those messages are triggering chemicals in your brain and your body that conduct a response. Anyone heard of fight or flight? That's the response. And it can pump blood from anywhere in your body to your heart and forcefully contract that blood through your body. It can create damage to your arteries. It can create damage to your nervous system. It can create impulsive responses to those triggers that you normally, if you were calm, would not have done. Conversely, if you tell yourself positive messaging, you notice things that bring you joy, you choose to see the light in a situation, your body chemistry and your brain's chemical reaction will match that. Our minds are truly powerful. Think of it as think yourself happy, think yourself calm, think yourself in control, and you might find you get there. And don't forget, mirroring for others is really important as well. Let's say you run into your bestie and you ask them how they're doing and they run through the most negative list of crapoli from their day that ever exists. Try surprising them. Try modeling. Try saying, man, that sounds tough. And look at you, girl. You're still standing and looking fierce in the process. Where did you get those earrings? How are they going to leave that conversation? They might leave thinking, yeah, you're right. I am still handling this. I am still doing good. And they might get some actual energy to keep moving in that interaction. They might feel good about themselves. They may feel better about the situation around them. Modeling that reframing can change the interactions and the people around you, which just builds on that principle of you creating this positive light for yourself, because now you have others doing the same when they're interacting with you. Be a force. Be an utter force. Noticing all of your actual thoughts, noticing how you talk to yourself, and identifying a positive thought to replace a negative one with, even if it has to be you thinking of something that you love. Like this crummy situation is happening over here. But man, am I ever lucky that it's so warm outside today and that I was able to go for a walk because it could be snowing right now. Another really good approach of getting rid of a negative thought is replacing it by something that is wonderfully true. Man, I should have said that. Can totally change too. I love that I care about my impact on others and that I continue to do so. It doesn't change what's happened. It doesn't change that you wish you would have done something different. It reframes it as that was the past and you're grateful because this is the gift you still have. Try to remember, changing your mindset really starts with what you tell yourself and a commitment to the positive interactions between yourself and others. Simple steps, little changes, some consistency, and a commitment to embrace positivity for your life and for the people around you. And if this video helped you, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe so I can keep coming back every Thursday. I want to thank you for the joy that you continue to bring me every day on this channel. I look forward to seeing you guys every week. Welcome Thrivers to my Thrival Tribe. We'll see you soon.